so backwards. That is where we need to start. Like, stop thinking that there isn't enough. Stop thinking fighting for your audience or for the donors, or like, you need to start thinking globally and thinking of that whatever you are looking for is already there. You're just not seeing it yet.
Welcome to Point to Rise, your podcast that gives you permission to dream big, take messy action, and turn your talent into profit while turning your back on perfection. My name is Susanne, high performance and mindset coach, former international ballerina, profitable entrepreneur, and founder of Point to Rise, a movement designed to empower dancers. It is my mission to use my own story as an inspiration for today's generation of dancers. And now sit back, stretch, warm up, or sip your coffee and love learning how much it matters to point at yourself first to rise to all that you are capable of.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Point to Rise podcast. We are here to talk about money and arts, and my dear friend Christy. Good morning, my love. How are you?
Morning. I'm so good. How are you?
So good. Yes, so good. How was your week?
Oh,
And I want you to brag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the resistance that we've been chatting about for the last 2 weeks has been broken through, which is such a breath of fresh air. After our chat last week, I recorded my first 4 episodes to my YouTube channel. I was on a roll, so I just kept going because it was the energetic shift of once I broke through and just did the first one and said, okay, it's not about being perfect. And that's actually my first video being, it's called Authenticity or Bust. Just showing up who you are. Some days I want to wear makeup, like on Mondays. And then other days I don't want to get on my PJs. And I might still get on video. Yesterday, I did that. I did a Facebook Live and an Instagram Live where I literally hadn't showered, was in my PJs. I was helping my husband who was hurt all day. And I watched people scroll through. I was in a scroll hole. And I was watching people apologize for either the way they looked like crap. And they were saying that on their videos or apologizing for themselves. And I got on and I said, stop, let's just embrace who we are. So I think that breakthrough from last week allowed me to even more authentically step into just showing up as me. My voice matters. It's not about being perfect. I'm not about being a guru or anything like that. I'm just sharing what's been valuable for me and what I feel like will be valuable for people. So I've just felt such a shift this week, which is such a relief and a testament to just do the thing. We can think about the thing forever and try to prepare as perfectly as possible. And it's just until you actually just go do it, it's just something that's going to keep going over and over and over in your mind of hanging over your head. So I am very happy that was broken through.
So I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited. And nobody is for everybody. So that's okay. I'm here for whoever it resonates with. And, I invite people to try it on, and if it fits, keep it on. If not, take it off. And that's okay.
Exactly. And that's all there is, right? We don't need to complain or point fingers or judge. Just if it's not for you, then it's not for you. And then you stop.
Yeah.
You keep going.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful place to be because I've definitely never been in this mindset before. I wanted everybody to like me all the time. And I was just kind of a chameleon. I was nobody to anybody because I was trying to be
everything to everybody
for everybody. Yeah. So it's a really great breakthrough and feels good. So,
but isn't that how we were raised though? Like in the industry?
Yeah.
Like you should fit in that box that the director really wants to see, and you just be that and please everybody around you and bend as much as you can. Don't break, but bend a lot.
Yeah.
So everybody can like you, because if they don't like you, you're not worthy.
I know that very well. So what about you? What was your week like?
Um, so I wouldn't say resistance.
Mm.
I'm impatient. That would
Mhm.
describe what I'm feeling right now. It's like my denser self is coming back.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you not there yet? Why can't you not just reach out to the people that scare you the most and ask the questions?
Mm.
Like the person that is preaching, I just recorded an episode around ask more questions because that pushes us forward, is exactly what I had to tell myself today. Like, why are you not asking more questions? What are you afraid of? And what I'm
Yeah.
really afraid of is hearing no, because I
Oh.
don't like hearing no.
Mhm.
And having these conversations with myself. I'm reading right now, oh gosh, so last week, twice in the same week, the same person, Ryan Serhant, who is in the New York City million dollar listing, New York City, he came into my sphere twice because he released a new book called Big Money Energy. And I found it right away too in a bookstore, which is really unlikely here in Canada. We get stuff later. So I started reading it and I'm like, oh my God, like a lot of male energy in that book and how he speaks and his thoughts in the podcast that I listen to. But when I take that out, it is exactly what I need to hear.
Mm.
Like, just stop having the person that you were yesterday and that you assume you were yesterday holding you from becoming who you want to be tomorrow. And yeah, definitely where I'm at, that was my week. A lot of resistance, and I found myself procrastinating. Um, I'm saying this on the podcast. I don't have my isogenics collagen elixir right now, and I really am struggling energy wise. So I can't wait for that to arrive. It's a big, quick plug.
Yes.
Totally. My show. We can do that. Um, and I want to talk about we are going to talk about stability versus ability. Um, and here's my reason. So I had quite a few conversations last week with family members and other dancers around the topic ability versus stability. And we're putting stability over, like, on top of the funnel, basically. Like, we're looking for stability more than anything else, and we're cutting ourselves off even the possibility to gain more ability, meaning to learn more, to see more, to understand more by just striving for stability.
Mm.
I find we have it the other way around. Like, if we were to turn with financial or any kind of ability, actually then comes stability. Stability is a fake, it's like perfection. Like, you can think you have earned your stability or you have set yourself up, but you never know. Like, another COVID can hit, somebody can just pull a rug underneath your feet. And if you don't know how to get it all back, you have absolutely nothing. And that's where stability versus ability comes into something that I am in the process of learning, like completely rewiring. I want to mention at this very point that we are not financial experts. We, both of us, are talking from our experience as the starving artist that has been with us. That identity has been with us for so long. And both of us were able to recognize it, be aware of it, and now break through to the other side. Um, Now, my question to you is, I don't know if I have a question. I just want to hear your thoughts around stability versus ability and what that means to you. Like, let's start with financial stability.
Sure. I resonate. If anybody's listening to the podcast, I was nodding furiously as she was talking, because I can relate to all of that. So it really does start with the unprogramming of what we're shown or presented to as a package of what stability is. Because I really personally, in observing that programming, I don't necessarily feel like a lot of the scenarios would give you financial stability. Might seemingly feel like that. But are you really set up for, no matter, like you said, no matter what happens in your life, are you going to have something that's there for you to support you? Slash, is it really going to support everything in an ideal life situation? I think for so much of the world, this thought of having financial stability is still in the mindset of survival mode. And it only takes the viewpoint of, are you set up for your basic needs being met, not to have a radiant, extraordinary life of your dreams. So that's really what I have been flipping the switch with myself these last couple of years of, I don't want to be under that story. I don't want to live that life of survival. And that's it. I truly believe there is more purpose that we're meant to be here for than to just work to the bone, to pay, to be able to eat and have a roof over our heads and provide for our family and get by. And so the ability side is where we can start to create that, when we can take control of what we create in our lives. And it's the employee versus the entrepreneurial mindset that also, with these two words, I would say the switch needs to start to be made too. Because when we're looking for job security and financial stability, we only have so much control over that ourselves. When we can raise our abilities in some way, we all have passions. I like to tell people, think about what you did in your free time from the ages of like 8 and under. What were you doing? Like, those are natural things that your soul, before you went into education systems and all that got you away from some of those things and got you in studious left mind mode, where your right side of your brain modes, like what is your go-to, what fires you up? Can you take that and strengthen those abilities and make it into something else around what you're already doing, to then take maybe what you have as financial stability right now as a job, but really go from a survival meeting your needs to really a thriving side of your life. Exactly. So that's, for me, that I've been focused on the abilities, what skills can I strengthen to have the opportunities that are in front of me to allow me to then, like you said, then create the stability. Like, I have a long-term mindset. So I'm not financially in my ideal heaven on earth. Like, I have everything that I could possibly dream of life right now. I'm in the building towards that and strengthening my abilities and having my vision. Never had a vision before. I was in survival mode. So I think that that's the difference too. When you flip to the ability side and a longer term mindset, that what if you took a few years to gain an ability on the side of what you're doing right now, to strengthen that, to then thrive a couple years from now instead of right now, which also is the patience and all of the resistance that's going to come up and all the things that we've already talked about, like all that's going to happen in the right now. But if you have that longer term vision, that's what's going to allow you to flip that switch, where the ability will be raised, and so then will the stability follow.
Yeah, no, exactly. Now let's and I'm going to read this off. The financial, what I want to dive a little bit into what actually financial ability means, that then can provide you with more stability. So there are a few things that come into play for financial ability. It is knowing how to earn money and being able to create an income versus understanding that you have to go and trade your time for money. It is knowing how money works on its own, right? And that is way, 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 way more important than having a savings account over $50,000. If that goes and you don't know how to recreate that, you have nothing, absolutely nothing. And it also will then create a lack mentality, because if we're hanging on to something because we don't know how to recreate it, that is energetically completely in the way, and money is energy, so it will not come back to you. So if you're certain that you can, at any given point, you have the ability to recreate, let's say $50,000, then you have stability. And I feel that particularly in the arts, there is no such thinking. And it I don't want to say it drives me crazy, but I feel like this is one of the root causes that actually brings us to so many people leaving the industry broken. The eating disorders, the abuse, the lack of leadership, because we haven't even yet figured out how to create wealth. Like, everybody just thrives for, how can I say that? The riches, the having the money in the bank account, without a longer term vision on, well, who do I want to be in 2025? Do I still, as a company, raise after my donors and ask them for $50,000 checks? Or will I teach myself how to create that so I don't depend on these people? And I think that is where the switch could, oh gosh, that is the switch that will then allow more abundance. Like, all of these physical signs that we're seeing in the arts, they come from somewhere. They come from that lack mentality that there is never enough. I am not enough. You being here isn't enough. And therefore, keep hurting yourself, because if you keep hurting yourself, you may just get to being enough. And it is so backwards. That is where we need to start. Like, stop thinking that there isn't enough. Stop thinking fighting for your audience or for the donors, or like, you need to start thinking globally and thinking of that whatever you are looking for is already there. You're just not seeing it yet.
Oh my gosh.
Over.
Yes. All the yeses.
Wow. I don't know where that came from, but certainly
divine.
Pissed off.
And I ultimately think that is the shift that I also feel we're presented with, an illusion of lack too. And that is the shift that it is the problem with all of the stuff that we talk about every week, is that it requires us to take radical responsibility for ourselves. And that is the crappy part of it, that you have to just accept. It is no one else's job to break the cycle of what you see around you but you. Yeah. If you want more, if you want less pain, if you want more peace, and it starts with you, which is a leadership skill, which is an ability. So by just taking that first shift, you're dipping into a version of leadership that could then allow you to open up and start creating. Like you said, when you can break that mold, you also know that you don't have to rely on It's your choice if you rely on everybody else to create what you want to create. If you take the radical responsibility and make that shift and start just looking at how you can create what you're looking to create, that's when the change comes. And it's not easy because we have to go against what the majority around us is doing.
That was so good. Oh, drop my mic right now. Well, it's the truth. And I have been that person for the longest time, sitting in the wings, waiting until I'm called, waiting to give me permission to dance or to do whatever needed to be done. But that's not how the world works. When you step out of that bubble, nobody is going to call you. Nobody's going to call your name and say, hey, it's your turn. You have to give yourself your turn. And the earlier you can learn that, the more successful you not only will be after your career as a dancer, but actually within. When you let go of that grip of, I have to, I hope to, like now, that puppy mentality of see me, I want to be loved.
Yeah.
I have so much to learn. And you take on, and I'm taking that right out of the book, the Big Money Energy book. He compares it the puppy energy with a wolf energy. Puppies are craving attention. Puppies are always there to jump up on you. They pee everywhere. They want your love 24/7. They need you. Yeah. It is a different kind of energy than a wolf has, who sits up on the mountain, puts the nose into the air, and goes to where the food is, to where whatever it wants is, right? They go get what they want. And that is the switch. Arts organization and dancers, they're sitting in the wings like little puppies, waiting for somebody else helping them or giving them the permission. Where if they were switching into the wolf and sitting onto where they are at and trusting their instincts and their knowledge and their abilities, by keep on improving their abilities, then you actually have freedom. Then you're powerful. Then you can create.
Yeah. The word permission just was huge for me. And that's really a core thing, is that I feel a lot of us are waiting for permission to move. So that's where the radical responsibility comes in, is that no one's going to give you permission to expand yourself except you. Like, the permission has to come from you now, if you take that next step. Otherwise, the stability will only be dictated by those that give you the permission. And you'll just be waiting and wondering and hoping. And man, this is sparking something else. There were so many times in my career where I was just waiting and hoping to be noticed, waiting and hoping to get cast, waiting and hoping to, the next show that I worked with that same director or choreographer, that I would have X, Y, and Z. Next show, I would be the assistant. Next show, I would be the dance captain. And it was always that. I was always, putting on a show. Outside of even what I was doing on stage, I was putting on a show to dance around, figuratively, of the energy I wanted permission to then succeed more, because that was where my stability was. Because for me, I was, a large part of my career was in musical theater. So I was in shorter contracts, working all over the country and sometimes all over the world. So I did a lot of dancing around for my next gig. I didn't have 2-year contracts. I had shorter ones. I had several months or a couple months. So I was always seeking permission from somebody, but it trickled into, not just into my professional career. That's how I showed up in the world. And then I asked permission for everything. I literally asked permission to speak, to use the bathroom, to all the things. Like, it goes into everything. And eventually the only way out of that is to have the permission come from yourself and to take that next step.
Oh man, that when you said that you were all over and didn't have the stability from, like, let's say a company setting, I have to say that stability, that very stability that so many people are looking for, was my what do you call it? The thing that pardon?
Noose? Is that
It just cut off my air supply, like my curiosity. It cut off my wanting to learn. It cut off possibilities, thinking outside the box. I was just content sitting in that container and doing the same day over and over again and just listen and wondering, why was I so unhappy? Why was I drinking so much? Why was I taking sleeping tablets? Why was I manipulating every chance I had to succeed?
Yeah, and that's that comfort zone too. That goes back to, you defined a certain level of comfort and said, this is my comfort, this is my stability, and it's our belief systems that also dictate our thoughts and our actions too. So you had and there's no needing to shame that version of you. That was your belief, and that was what was presented, and in that moment, that was your truth. And that's all this is too, is like, I never mean to have conversations with you and make anyone feel ashamed for where they're at or what they're happy doing. I just have a realization, and my belief systems have changed. I had strong belief systems that followed the starving artist belief and story that I told myself. And I, at the time, was very happy, hustling and doing that. That was a choice of mine. And it's okay that also now I've shifted. My thoughts, beliefs, and emotions have changed. And that's just simply what it is. It's this next stage of understanding a different level of awareness and seeing things differently, seeing my world and what I visualize for it differently.
Beautiful. Yeah. And this is why when we think about putting stability on this high pedestal, that is yet again a belief that we taken in as something that is true to us, where you and I coming in and questioning it and saying, hey, listen, look at your belief system. This is what we're doing. Like, we're just inviting you here to really form some kind of awareness around your belief system. That, are you seeking stability over ability? Like, do you believe that financial stability is worth more to you than the ability to know how to recreate? And that is really what we're going to leave you with today. Any closing thoughts, my love?
I think you really just wrapped it up. Yeah, I think I'm happy to leave that and second to what you just said, because that was beautiful.
Well, thank you guys for listening. As always, we hope that was helpful in any way, and we love to hear your feedback. If there are any questions you have, ask away, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If this message resonates with you, please pass it on to someone who needs to hear this right now. And if you like what you've heard, your feedback will go a very long way. If you just take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review, that would mean the world to me. Till next time, point at yourself to rise to all that you are capable of.